What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Saturday, June 11th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 10-game slate tonight. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. So I like Frankie Montas pitching against the Cleveland Guardians. Frankie Montas pitches his best ball versus righty batters, only giving up a .606 OPS versus righties. He's facing 5 righties here tonight. The Guardians have hit 11 of his last 46 pitches. That's a .239 batting average. Frankie Montas is $9,700 FanDuel salary. He's 400 less on DraftKings, averaging 35 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 40, 34, and 58 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 3.06. His record is 2-6, and he's pitching an average of 91 pitches per game. So I like Frankie Montas here versus the Cleveland Guardians. Now there's a couple low salary pitchers on this slate that I like. The first one is Mike Clevinger. He's got a massive pitching advantage here over a low salary batting team, the Colorado Rockies. Mike Clevinger is only giving up a .379 OPS versus righties, so he pitches his best ball versus righty batters. And the Colorado Rockies have 7 righty batters, so he's facing 7 righty batters here tonight. So there's no pitches versus the Rockies yet, but Mike Clevinger is in a fantastic spot when it comes to splits, and he's $8,400 FanDuel salary, same price on DraftKings. Now, he's only averaging 25 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.18. Record is 1-0, pitching an average of 80 pitches per game. But I do think he has a good chance here tonight to pitch a good game because the splits are so great. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 7.5 runs scored in this game. So they think it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's the over-under. So I like Mike Clevinger as a lower salary pitcher here versus the Colorado Rockies. Now the other pitcher that I think is in a pretty good spot here for a low salary pitcher is Madison Bumgarner. So his lefty-righty switch hitter splits, actually they're pretty good. He pitches his best ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .693 OPS versus lefties. He's facing 5 lefties here tonight. And what I like about this pick is the Phillies have only hit 13 of his last 71 pitches. That's a .183 batting average and a pretty big sample size. So Madison Bumgarner is only $7,200 FanDuel salary. He's 200 more on DraftKings, averaging 21 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.64. Record is 2-5, pitching an average of 83 pitches per game. So I like Madison Bumgarner as a lower salary pitcher here versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay guys, it's time to announce the winner of our $25 weekly PayPal giveaway. And the winner is Yasmin Diaz. Yasmin Diaz, congratulations. You are the winner of this week's $25 PayPal giveaway. Please reply to our comment to collect your prize. Before I continue with the picks,
I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And then we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy,
and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Freddie Freeman with a 22% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Sam Long. Freddie Freeman is batting a .792 OPS versus lefties. Sam Long, he's pitching 32% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .870 OPS versus lefties. Freddie Freeman is 2 for 3 with a 2 OPS versus Long. He's 3,600 FanDuel salary, 1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .289. So I like Freddie Freeman here versus Sam Long. Now I also like Trey Mancini with a 51% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Daniel Lynch. Trey Mancini batting 8% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .837 OPS versus lefties. Daniel Lynch, he is pitching 43% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .816 OPS versus righties. And Trey Mancini is 1 for 2 versus Lynch. He's 3,100 FanDuel salary, 1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .298, and he scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. So I like Trey Mancini here versus Daniel Lynch. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Let's see who we got here. I struggled to find a good second baseman, so I think I'm going to go with a value play here. At least on FanDuel, he's a good value play. Take a look at Santiago Espinal, and he's got an 18% batting advantage over Bo Brisk. Santiago Espinal is batting a .730 OPS versus righties. Bo Brisk is pitching 36% worse to righties as he does lefties. So he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters by a pretty big margin here, giving up a .963 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Brisk yet. Santiago Espinal is 2,800 FanDuel salary, 2,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .293. So I like Santiago Espinal here versus Bo Brisk. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. A stud on the slate that I like is Jose Ramirez. He has a 21% batting advantage over Frankie Montas. So if you're not going to play Frankie Montas, I think Jose Ramirez could be a good kind of contrarian pick here. He is facing a good pitcher, but his splits are pretty good. He's batting 17% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.008 OPS versus righties. Frankie Montas pitching a .656 OPS versus switch hitters. But I like this pick because Jose Ramirez is 5 for 14 with a .357 batting average, a 1.143 OPS versus Montas. He's 4,100 FanDuel salary, 2,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 16 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 31, 22, and 22 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He has a batting average of .294, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. So I like Jose Ramirez here versus Frankie Montas.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, who do we have at the shortstop position? Here's a value play. Take a look at Luis Urias with a 22% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Patrick Corbin. Luis Urias is batting a little bit better here versus lefty pitchers, batting a .747 OPS versus lefties. Patrick Corbin pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 20% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .915 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Luis Urias is 3 for 7, batting a .429 batting average and a 1.286 OPS versus Corbin. One of those 3 hits was for a home run. He's 2,800 FanDuel salary, only 600 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Now, what is concerning here is he only scored fantasy points in 1 out of his last 5 games, and he has a batting average of .218. But I like the splits, and I like the batter versus pitcher matchup, and I like the low price tag, and his average fantasy points per game look just fine as well. So I like Luis Urias here versus Patrick Corbin. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. Our home run hitter, once again, Aaron Judge, with a 41% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Matt Swarmer. Aaron Judge batting 15% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.016 OPS versus righties. Matt Swarmer pitching 26% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .641 OPS versus righties. No at-bats versus Swarmer yet. Aaron Judge is 4,500 FanDuel salary, 1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 15 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .308, so I like Aaron Judge here versus Matt Swarmer. Now, George Springer is also in a pretty good spot for a home run here versus Bo Brisk. So you could always save some salary and go there. He's only 3,700 FanDuel salary, 2,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He also scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, has a batting average of .282. So I like George Springer here versus Bo Brisk. I also like Austin Hayes with a 38% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Daniel Lynch. Austin Hayes batting a .741 OPS versus lefties. Daniel Lynch pitching 43% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .816 OPS versus righties. Austin Hayes is 1 for 1 versus Lynch. That hit was a double. He's 3,200 FanDuel salary, 1,100 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 3 out of his last 5 games, with his lowest score being a 13. had a 26 and a 31 in there, and he's got a batting average of 291. So I like Austin Hayes here versus Daniel Lynch.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.